CV-22 Osprey.
On extent, you'll need a vehicle crossing at the far end ahead of you.
With the 7th Special Operations Squadron, part of the 352nd Special Operations Wing at RIAT Milton Hall in Suffolk, and you can gather from its entrance there why the Osprey, and certainly one of the reasons, diameter of 11.5 metres or so, about 38 feet each. In again from our left, those rotors transitioning as the aircraft goes from conventional into helicopter mode. There's also the undercarriage coming down. The first flight of the prototype V-22 Osprey took place in March 1989. It was the US Marine Corps that was first to receive the type for training purposes in March 2000 and becoming operational 5 years later. The CV-22B that we see here for Air Force Special Operations Command has the test duties advantages of the helicopter with few of the disadvantages. Able to operate into confined spaces and be extremely flexible, but with greater speed and longer range. The Osprey can transport 24 combat troops, or 20,000 pounds worth of internal, or up to 15,000 pounds worth of external cargo. It's fully air-to-air refueling capable as well. The type has demonstrated its attributes and its qualities in combat theatres of late, not least in Iraq and Afghanistan. So now a transition into forward flight. The role of the CV-22B as yet is to perform long-range special operations missions, infiltrating those forces, resupplying them once they're on the ground, and when the mission is complete, exfiltrating them. The type has a combat radius of some 500 nautical miles with a single auxiliary fuel tank mounted internally, but with air-to-air refueling from MC-130. Marine Corps MV-22 version that we've seen here before, the CV-22 has an extra crew member. It's operated by 4 flight crew, a pair of pilots and a pair of flight engineers, as against the 3 of the Marine Corps aircraft, and it also has a terrain-following radar to help it in the low-level environment. Crew training began with the 58th Special Operations Wing at Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico in 2006, and it was the first Special Operations Wing at Albert Field, Florida, that took the first operational aircraft the following January. So now a bit of manoeuvring in the hover. The Milton Hall-based Special Operations Unit took its first Ospreys in June 2013. Its resurrect of the 352nd vertical lift capabilities that it lost when in 2007 it retired its venerable Sikorsky MH-53 Pave-Low helicopters. Further roles are in prospect for the Osprey. The US Marine Corps Presidential Transport Squadron, HMX-1, uses a fleet of V-22s to carry support personnel and members of the White House Press Corps. They're going to come into US Navy service with their new COD ever in vogue for multi-role or swing-role aircraft. Bell Boeing are looking at a gunship version of the Osprey. They've tested rocket and missile armament. And now international sales very much on the agenda. Only last Tuesday, Japan announced that it was going to be purchasing 5 examples of the type, clearing back to its home base at RAF Mildenhall. The US Air Force Bell Boeing CV-22 Osprey.
Oh, yes.